Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is the Empress. And Six of Cups. And the Sun. Empress and Six of Cups can be a time where you are enjoying some type of nostalgic situation, whether it be something that's bringing up memories for you, or you could be connecting with your roots in some way, or like family or friends. There's going to be something sentimentally tinged about this that's happening. Having the Empress there, it especially as the first card, Empress, Venus, it can put a highlight on relationships, the stuff that's important to you, the things that you like, the things that you enjoy. And then also having the Sun there, something can be fun, something can be a time of exploration, it can be a time of self-expression. As this is happening though, there can definitely be a pleasant side to this. Another way that this can be is that you can be thinking back to old relationships, old exchanges, and there can be ways that you're perceiving things now as it relates to you, as it relates to your voice, as it relates to your self-expression. The Six of Cups in this deck, like, even though Six of Cups usually is about something nice and nostalgic, the Six of Cups in this deck sometimes is a little, like, in a non-discriminatory way connected with the past. So who knows, it can be stuff coming up from the past that you feel a type of way about as well. It doesn't like always have to be something that you necessarily enjoy. It can be a time when I see Six of Cups as sort of being, it has two different sides. One can be a time where you think back on something and it feels really nostalgic and nice, like there was that sense of emotional reciprocity there and there was a like nice exchange that was going on. Or I see the other side of the Six of Cups, both upright. I see the other side of the Six of Cups as being a time when you can recognize that there was a discrepancy, where you can look back and be like, that wasn't fair, or that wasn't aligned with my values, or I didn't like that. But it's important because it feels like there's something that's building here having to do with yourself and your self-expression. And this can be a time that you look back on something and say, like, that was an experience that I had and I didn't use my voice, or I didn't express myself, or I didn't put two and two together, and now I am. And it can also be a time too where you look back and you're like, no, I actually felt really empowered when that was going on and I really enjoyed that. And then that can give you context for something presently, whether it be something that you have the opportunity to experience presently, or it be something that you want to manifest. It can also just be a time when you're going through stuff emotionally. There can be different stuff that's coming up. Maybe some of it is enjoyable, maybe some of it is difficult stuff, and maybe you're processing all of those things. Maybe you have mixed feelings about something. Especially too, like, taking the time right now to be talking about it, as like, I don't think I've ever talked about the Six of Cups and the two sides that it has. So this can definitely be a time where it feels like both to you. There can be a bittersweet energy. There can be some things that you're laughing about and that were funny. There can be other things that you're like, I can't believe that happened. So, and this all adding up to, like, this is your journey, this is stuff that's going on, this gives context to your path. Like, why did that happen? Are there things that are occurring now that you can recognize cycles that have repeated? Is it something that you've grown out of? Is it something that you've completed? Is there more? I feel like this is coming up because it can be some unprocessed stuff, especially if any of it is heavier that's coming up. For some of you, it won't be like that. It really just depends on your experience. But yeah, there can be something that's coming up that you feel a type of way about a little bit. Whether it be something that you did that you're looking back on, something that you experienced, maybe something someone else is feeling. Especially if this is linked to other people. I get it kind of even in a moment of something being your cross to bear a bit, and there can be something going on that's on your mind about that. But we do have Five of Cups here, and this can be a feeling of, you can wish something was different. Five of Cups is when you're attached to something related to the past that is other than how it was in this context. Then I'm seeing a Tower, and I'm seeing Queen of Wands. So I feel like this is going to empower a part of you that you take action on your behalf. You do things on your behalf, and there can be a concern with self-expression, your values, how you expect to be treated, like what your standards are. The energy of this Queen of Wands is a bee. It's a queen bee, which is very much Queen of Wands energy. But having that Tower there can be a Tower related to self. It can be about self-esteem. It can be your position with yourself within your relationships. It can be a time when there's a whole like reorienting or change that's going on personally for you. And something that, as this change occurs, it's something that can change the way that you express yourself. It's something that can change the way that you perceive yourself. It's something that can change sort of what you see as what you have to offer, the energy that you come with, like how you approach situations. And it can ultimately be something that brings you back, like unites you with a part of yourself that maybe you hadn't been united with. It's something that can bring you closer to yourself. It's something that can help you gain a sense of perspective, like a right vision and a right order of things. This can also be like being hit with a really big wave or hit with a really big feeling emotionally as well. And that can be something that like impacts even your sense of self. But I get this in a way of like the position that you hold within your life, even as it relates to your relationships with others. I almost feel like we're playing checkers here. There's a recovery that happens. There's a recovery that's happening. You get thrown into something familiar. You were in the present moment. In the present moment, then the next moment after that, you get thrown into something. It's like a place you've occupied before, but you can also be in a new energy. It feels like a crowded room of memories, and it like brought up a bunch of stuff. Six of Cups, then Four of Swords feels like that, like I had that whole big experience, all of those things came up. Like it can be like stuff out of your what is it, like skeletons in the closet. It can just be like a bunch of things that are coming up, but it doesn't have to be anything nightmarish. It can, maybe you also aren't giving it value. Maybe you're not saying like this is good, this is bad, this is whatever. Maybe it's just you embracing the experience that you're having without placing value on it. And then I'm seeing there be this sort of like breaking apart, where having Four of Swords under the Six of Cups feels like you get thrown into a pool, or like thrown into that room with all of that like past stuff surfacing. And then I'm seeing some of you are having dreams about past things that are coming up. And then I'm seeing you be like pulled out of the pool, and I'm seeing you sort of like sunbathing on the side of it, like away, out of the room, out of the water, sort of away, where there's a recovering from that. And this can be mental and emotional recovery that's happening. And what I'm seeing is that when you come out on the other side of that, like when you wake up from this nap after having been going through that, The way that I'm seeing the sun, it feels like this gives context to your journey. And for some of you, even your core, even your purpose, there can be, you can feel like you're seeing yourself more clearly, maybe more accurately than you had been before. This definitely feels like a push and pull that's happening. I'm seeing there be a strain on Venus. So that can mean like, it can mean sort of that cord being tugged a little bit energetically for you when it has to do with your values, has to do with your relationships, has to do with what you offer, what you give, your boundaries. And the balance between energy drain and energy restoration. The balance between the two of those. Something feels challenging because of the past stuff that it brings up. Interesting. Okay. Nine of Wands, Six of Cups. That draining because of past stuff coming up. Nine of Cups, Five of Cups is like, I wanted that, but then that didn't happen. I had that, but then I lost that. I wanted it to be like this, and then it went like that instead. So there can be a bit of that that's going around there. Again, some of you guys, you're having dreams about stuff from your past. I'm seeing that being here with Six of Cups and Four of Swords. You may be processing while you're sleeping. That can be part of this. It can even be something that you thought, like, I recovered from that, or I healed from that, or I had hope after that situation, and then I'm like losing my hope again. But this can be something that sort of comes by unexpectedly, it seems like. Maybe you feel even like something that was supposed to be part of your path, or that you hoped to be part of your path, it got like pulled off and then it wasn't there anymore. And then how do you like remain hopeful when stuff happens that was different than how you wanted things to be? Because Nine of Cups is like the stuff that we want in our dreams and our wishes, and especially like the things that we feel like, I want that, or things are supposed to happen like that, or I would really enjoy that, and then things go differently than how we expected them to. And then it can feel like this stuff that's spilled over that you can't pick it back up and have the cup be full anymore, because that whole thing already happened. Like the juice spilled out of it, like the spilled milk happened. And when you experience the spilled milk, how do you have hope for the future? How do you still feel inspired to give and to live your life and to still be adding to the canvas? How do you still be threading the threads of your path when you can look at so much that has happened and wanted it to be different? And how does that be reconciled? Because I'm seeing, it looks like this is where the energy feels like this is a negative experience. And when I say negative, I don't mean good or bad. I mean negative as in this is something that drains your energy. It's something that can drain your life force. Negative, like it takes away. And then how do you balance that with the positive, which is going to be something that strengthens and refills your life force? When you're going, like, how do you balance the scales of that? Because it's all about the polarity that's happening. And when you feel like you're getting pulled one way, how do you anchor the energy in another direction? So you have the draining process of working through the sadness, the mourning, the longing, the coming to terms, like the whole grieving process. How do you balance that with there's more that can happen. Things can happen now that I want. There are still more possibilities. Like, that energy of the Empress is like, I can still create, I can still manifest. Empress connected with the star. I can still be on my path. I can create things that are supposed to be on my path. I can still connect with it. I can still enjoy my journey. I haven't hit something where I can no longer enjoy my journey anymore. It can still be fun for me. It can still be enjoyable for me. There can be things now that I have that I love, that I appreciate, that I have fun with, that I get to enjoy. So this feels like a bunch of like past wishes and desires and wants, the coming to terms with what never was. Pulling yourself, all to pull yourself into the present moment and all to give context to your journey now. And maybe direct your energy in a way. How to find inspiration and going through the whole process of transmutation as this is happening. How to find the humor within it, even, if you so dare. So below the Tower, as the anchoring energy of the Tower, I'm seeing Temperance. Tower is like this surprise character that pops out at you during the video game, that when you're playing the video game, you know nothing's not gonna be in there that's not supposed to. Like, if there's a character in there, even if it's a surprise, you know that it was built into the video game. And looking at your life in that way, like, there's something here, there's a surprise character popping up and it's supposed to be there, and that's also part of the game. That's part of this cycle that you're in. It's part of this level that you're in right now. And there's stuff related to self that is coming up. Your self-esteem can be part of this. And it's like all stuff that's related to the Queen of Wands. And this is what allows you to feel good about yourself. This is what allows you to feel that sense of self-esteem, for you to want to express yourself, for you to shine within your authenticity, for you to be yourself, for you to be honest, for you to feel a sense of fire and passion that you live your life with, for things to be good now. It's not like all the opportunities passed you by and there are none left. You didn't run out. And it's good to come to terms, even though it can feel like heavy lifting. I feel like you're having one of those moments where you could be like, you know, sometimes we get to a period where it's like, I thought that I would do this by now, or I thought that that would have been done, or now I feel so old and like, oh, my life is behind me. And it can really be that feeling. And like at all ages, we can experience that. What were my expectations, and then what ended up happening? And you're in the process of reconciling those things while trying not to lose like absolute hope for the rest of your life. Are you going to throw away the rest of your life now? And like saying it like that, right? It sounds very black and white, but there's heavy lifting here emotionally and energetically that you're going through. And you can feel like mad or startled or however you feel when that surprise character pops up, like, hey, you got to deal with me now. And then there's also a way where, like, how do you have your feelings about this, and how do you also, like, the witness from behind that is laughing at what's going on, and like, yeah, this is just part of it. You know, to be able to look at it from the different levels and not minimize your feelings about it, because this isn't just like toxic positivity here. This isn't just like forget your feelings, like everything's fine, everything's perfect. This is more so like, yeah, on one level you have your feelings about this, on like another level this is something that's the experience that you're having, and then there can be another part of you that's like, I'm seeing my avatar doing these things, and like your avatar's really in there, your avatar's really in the game doing all of this stuff, And then there's that part of you that's a step behind, and you have the controller, and you're from behind the screen controlling your avatar. And you're all connected. It's like another iteration and another iteration and another iteration, just on like different planes of consciousness, different ways of seeing this. You zoom in and you zoom out. And it can be definitely a rough time emotionally. I'm seeing Mars connecting with the moon, which can feel very rough. Very rough. The moon is that like that core sense of self that can feel so sensitive and so impacted even by the slightest little thing, like a brush of what is it? Just something that would be like a thread, like the tiniest little thread across your skin is what the moon feels like the slightest little breeze that you feel. The moon can feel everything, even things that aren't physically happening. The moon is attuned to those things. So it's that part of you that is so deeply perceptive and connected to everything that's going on. And then that Mars energy can be the rough things that are happening and the abrasive things that are happening, and that like eruption that happens energetically and internally. And it feels like the equivalent of this is like when you have acid reflux and you just feel that what is it, the indigestion of that. It's like the heartburn that you feel from this. That's how I'm seeing the Tower and the moon here. That feeling of heartburn when you're going through this, and it can be a very unpleasant sensation, and you are really feeling that. That is really part of your experience. And then there's you can like go back a layer and see that you're also that person behind the screen moving the avatar, and you can like, that's your player, and you feel for them, that character that's having that experience, and you're also behind that screen too. And this is also part of the level as well. I definitely find this zooming in and zooming out to be helpful to help you process the energy. Like when it gets to be like, this is getting too heavy, I'm taken too under by this, what do you do that helps you breach the surface to be able to get a breath of air before you go back under? How do you come up and then go back down and then come up and go back down? And it's that focusing in and out on the different layers of this. And ultimately, I'm seeing this have to do with like self-knowledge, self-awareness, the things that you are learning, the things that you are understanding, your self-expression being part of this. We have Venus here, we have the sun here. This is about your values. And for some of you, I'm hearing your pride. It's about your values. It's about your self-expression as it relates to and is aligned with your values. Then we also have Aquarius here. We have Mars here. We have Sagittarius. We have the moon. So this is a lot of personal stuff that's going on here. Venus, sun, moon, Mars. These are very personal placements to be going through the energy and experiencing this. And the two zodiac signs that we have here, Aquarius, Sagittarius, these energies are ones that you can zoom all the way in and then zoom all the way out. These are big picture thinking energies. And to know that each layer is valid and it's not exclusive, that this is an inclusive perspective, point of view. And how do you remain with the star optimistic and hopeful, even though you've gone through things that have been challenging, that haven't met your expectations, that didn't go the way that you planned? How do you authentically really connect with that sense of wisdom and trust and belief in your path, in your experience, in the possibility of things being fantastic for you, of being able to experience things that you feel a genuine sense of joy and pleasure to experience those things? and fun and excitement and involvement. And then the Sagittarian energy of learning. How does this impress upon you? How do you not only experience what you're experiencing, but process it so you can pull all of the wisdom from it as well, and then integrate that into the next moves that you make? And that's what's going on currently for you energetically. All right, my friends, we're going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.